Don't count him out. I think that's a very dangerous fight for Jake Paul. But at the end of the day, we could have a big upset. But I think that AJ is too much for Jake Paul at this point, and he's bigger than Jake Paul.
Is 1-0 against these guys that come in to these boxing careers late. So why not? He's a perfect guy to take him out too. You took Ngannou out. Why would he not take Jake?
Might be a step too far. Now, I'm when I say it, I'm also I try to be responsible. I've been in this game 50 years, so I know where not to step, where you could twist an ankle, or worse, you could break a leg or fall.
Jake Paul. Excuse my French, what the is Anthony Joshua going to do to Jake Paul? I think my dad said that AJ could beat him with his prick, and I completely will back that up. Even if AJ had a...
Pros are weighing in on the shocking Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua matchup, and opinions are sharply divided. Many boxing analysts believe Joshua's size, experience, and Olympic pedigree give him a massive advantage, predicting an early stoppage if he applies steady pressure. Others note Jake Paul's rapid improvement, disciplined training camps, and willingness to face bigger opponents. Music, arguing he could steal rounds with movement and counters. Still, most professionals see Joshua as the overwhelming favorite, citing his power and ring IQ. Yet, the hype around Paul keeps the fight intriguing with fans eager to see whether he can defy expectations again. Tommy Fury sees the matchup as overwhelmingly one-sided because of the sheer size and pedigree gap. His perspective centers on the reality of heavyweight boxing. Elite heavyweights have developed their craft for decades, and their power is destructive on a level that lighter fighters, and especially novices, rarely understand. Fury believes the physical difference alone creates a fight that Jake Paul cannot win regardless of improvements or training discipline. But if I can beat Jake Paul, and excuse my French, what the is Anthony Joshua going to do to Jake Paul? I think my dad said AJ could beat him with his prick, and I completely will back that up. Even if AJ had a broken arm in there, it still wouldn't go past a minute to be quite honest with you. And as a safety aspect, there's no way that fight can go ahead at the end of the day. My God, how good does it make me look? He gets beat by Jake Paul. That automatically makes me two-time heavyweight champion in the world, doesn't it? There's no proper way. I've got to laugh about it there. How are we even talking about this? He got his nut boxed off by me a little over 2 years ago, and now all of a sudden he's talking about fighting Anthony Joshua. It's like, come on. Like, you can't be serious. You can't beat me. I'm not Anthony Joshua, am I? So it's just ludicrous. It really is. Derek Chisora focuses primarily on toughness and battle testing. As someone who has fought nearly every major heavyweight of the era, he evaluates Paul through the lens of ring savagery. In his mind, Jake Paul has never been pushed into deep, dangerous moments by elite heavyweights, and the brutal nature of the division leaves no room for experimenters. He sees the fight ending quickly and violently. From his perspective, the physical gap between Anthony Joshua and Jake Paul is so vast that he cannot envision the fight extending beyond 5 rounds under any circumstances. Chisora believes Joshua's power, size, and established boxing foundation would overwhelm Paul early, long before the midway point of a scheduled bout. To him, the only real question is how Joshua finishes the fight, not whether Jake can survive deep into the later rounds. In Chisora's estimation, allowing the fight to go past 5 rounds would indicate Joshua severely underperformed or held back because the disparity in experience and natural heavyweight strength is too significant for the contest to last longer. Look, Derek, and I know you say it's entertainment and there'll be a massive audience, but is there an element of danger as well? Look, AJ's a former world champion, and this is a guy, the best he's been in with is Tommy Fury. Listen, he don't really care. He don't, in a boxing ring is the only place you can murder somebody and they'll go to jail. So kudos to that. So, if he gets beaten up and something happens, it's part of the game. Well, I'm not sure that's a game that people would want to see though. Is it a real fight though? Is this going to be a proper fight? You will know more than most. Mate, let me tell you something. From how much they're getting paid about much 177 million whatever, and they're splitting it down the middle. So I hope it's not a game because I want to see some blood. I want to see somebody's teeth falling out. So I told Anthony, I already mentioned Anthony, I listen this I tell you what I said to AJ, if this goes past 5 rounds, everybody's going to be having a go at you because you can't go past 5 rounds with this kid. He has to go past 1 round or 2 rounds. past beyond 4 or 5 rounds, people are going to be doubting you as a fighter himself. So, he has to smoke him out like what he did Francis Ngannou in Saudi Arabia in 1 round. Yeah, and I think you're dead right. Is he worried about that? Is he worried about what happens, if he doesn't see him off in the first round or the second round? No, he's not worried about he's going to smoke this guy out. I'm not worried about it. We're going to smoke this guy out properly. He's going to all be there. He's going to smoke him. I can't wait. Theoretically, if he comes out swinging, right? AJ should be able to get it done in are we talking 30 seconds? If AJ is giving it everything he's got. Listen, if AJ comes in there and just blows on this kid, he's going to just drop him to the floor. So, I don't really, I'm just wasting money going Miami, 'cause I know it's going to be finished in 1 round. So, don't laughter. Are you going to go? Oh yeah, would have definitely be going to go. Joseph Parker's perspective is grounded in professionalism and consistency. He believes a fighter like Joshua, who has spent years training with world-class coaches and sparring with champions, possesses layers of technique that Jake Paul has not yet developed. Parker credits Jake's willingness to step into difficult fights, but views Joshua as too polished, physically imposing, and experienced to be troubled by someone so new to the sport. Perky Alashik has said that he's interested in doing Anthony Joshua versus Jake Paul. Let's talk about fights that make sense. Jake Paul's doing whatever Jake Paul does. If Joshua's serious about wanting to stay in boxing and fight good real fights, if that's what you want to do. I mean, if you want to go down this other road and do this, then that's by all means do it. But it's a different journey, and there's a different pathway. I think as fighters who've been in the game for a long time, I want real fights. If I was given an opportunity to fight Jake Paul, would I take it? No, not even for the money? No. Like I want to be champion of the world. That's my goal. And that's what I'm going to aim to achieve. Evander Holyfield assesses the fight based on mentality and conditioning. He respects Jake's fitness and desire to improve, but sees Joshua as too seasoned in long, grueling fights. Holyfield believes that endurance under heavyweight pressure, not just punching, makes Joshua nearly impossible for Jake to overcome. He also stresses how difficult it is to withstand the physical strength of a natural heavyweight. I would love to see that myself. I would love to see that fight. Interesting. Who do you lean towards? It's just going to be it would just be a good fight. I'm talking it's a good fight, but being the best because my own thing I don't want nobody think I want somebody I like box, and whoever win is going to be the best. David Benz Sr. has delivered a shocking assessment of the coming matchup, leaving fans stunned. According to him, Jake Paul is stepping into a level of danger he's never experienced, and the fight could expose the limits of his rapid rise in boxing. Benz Sr. believes Joshua's size, strength, and championship pedigree create a scenario where Jake risks serious damage if he's not extremely careful. He argues that Jake's confidence and power won't matter once he's facing a true heavyweight who has fought at the sport's highest level. Don't count him out. I think that's a very dangerous fall of fight for Jake Paul. But at the end of the day, we could have a big upset. But I think that AJ is too much for Jake Paul at this point, and he's bigger than Jake Paul in my opinion. Do you think it's competitive? A lot of people are saying if AJ doesn't get him out of there in 2 rounds, it'll be a huge embarrassment. I don't think that's not the case that he's going to get Jake Paul at the end of the day. Jake Paul has been training hard too. And he's a pretty good fighter. I don't think he would take him out in 2-3 rounds. I think maybe in the later rounds, or it might go to decision, but I don't think that Jake Paul can take AJ out. Or AJ could take a Jake Paul maybe. Maybe but I don't know. It's just going to be an exciting fight. I think I might want to see that fight, to be honest with you. Roy Jones offered an unexpected perspective. He stressed the bout must make sense for Joshua both competitively and financially, calling Joshua a legitimate former world champion. Jones firmly stated, "Did you see what Anthony Joshua did to Francis Ngannou? The same thing happens to Jake Paul. If you think someone who isn't a full-time boxer will beat Anthony Joshua, then you're crazy." I want to change subjects just a little bit here. And Anthony Joshua. There's rumors circulating he could be fighting Jake Paul next. 1. Do you think it's good for boxing? And 2. Do you think the fight will happen? I think it's great for boxing. I think the fight will happen. AJ is 1-0 against these guys that come into these boxing careers late. So, why not? He's a perfect guy to take him out, too. He took Ngannou out. Why would he not take Jake Paul out? And for him, he probably make more money fighting Jake Paul than will fight anybody else that he can fight right now. So, why would he not do, I mean? Not that he need the money right now anyway, but if he's going to do something, if you want to get a good win to put him back on the scene, that's a perfect win. You get a lot of money doing it. Lawrence Okolie has voiced serious concern over Jake Paul's showdown with Anthony Joshua, warning that it could pose a grave safety risk. Although Okolie once sparred with Paul and praised his dedication and mindset, he now believes entertaining a clash with AJ, who has elite power and technique, would be dangerously mismatched for Paul. Many boxing pros share this apprehension.